Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I am in the garden. Just came back from my morning walk and finished watering the front garden. And I've got to do some cleanup because this coming week we're going to have our first 30-degree low temps. So I will need to shift some things around, um, bunch some stuff together that will need to be covered and start protecting the garden. Most of the garden is pretty well protected, but there are a few things that I will need to cover up. There's some things I need to harvest. So in today's video, I'm just doing some cleanup, getting ready to wrap up for those 2 days of 37, 43, 45-degree weather, low temps in the morning, and yeah, see what's going on in the garden. So if you'd like to see what I'm getting into today, stay tuned. So I'm looking at the cattle panel. As you know, I'm sitting in my favorite spot. The bananas are growing well. They always grow and fill in the cattle panel. They reach the top, they fill out, they're as tall as they are wide. But in the pot nearest the shed, there are two baby bananas in there. And what I would like to do is take them out, put them in their own pots, and get them in the greenhouse and have them overwintered in the greenhouse. That way, they don't have to worry about surviving because the bananas have died back for me. They died back and came back this year. All the growth that's on them right now is new growth from this year. So I'm going to try a different method of covering everything in the cattle panel this year. The first year, if you all were here with me, I covered the outside of the cattle panel. That was a horrific fail. The wind ripped it down several times, tore a hole in my brand new greenhouse plastic. And so it was just a complete fail, and I lost all of my peppers. I've been struggling with replacing peppers ever since. Um, that was the first year. Last year, I covered, I want to say, I tried to affix the greenhouse plastic on the inside of the cattle panel. Say that 5 times fast. I tried to affix it around the inside of it and tack it to the cattle panel and drape it down. Same horrible fail. It didn't the wind didn't tear it down, but the wind cut through it, straight through the cattle panel where I tried to close the ends of it. Me trying to close the ends of it did not work. So this year I'm not doing either one of those things. I'm going to try something different. But before we get to that point, I need to take those bananas out. So that's what I'm going to be doing first. I'm going to be taking the bananas out, putting them in their own pots, getting them in the greenhouse, and then I need to pull up the watermelon as much as I have loved those two plants. You all saw how massive it was. It's time to get all those watermelon vines down because my greenhouse window on that side lost because of winds and it was open. The wind somehow rattled the screw and the bolt loose, and it came loose, and the window crumpled in. The pieces fell in on itself. It didn't crumple, but the metal pieces that keep the plastic together came loose, and it came out, and I had to take the pieces out. So I need to try to find that screw either inside the greenhouse, which I'm not going to find it inside the greenhouse because I'm not going to try to get up under that bench. Not happening. So what I have to do is I need to move the wood pile, take up the, what is that thing called, y'all? Sunscreen. Ooh, brain fart. Take up the sunscreen because it is staked down. Take that sunscreen up, flip it over. That way I can get to the top railing because that's how you put the window in. You have to slide it through the top rail and see if I can find that screw and bolt that way. If not, I'll go in the garage and see if I have a replacement of some kind, put it back together, and then get the window up there. So I've got to get that done before this coming Monday, Tuesday. So I've got to move the watermelon. It's got to come out. I've got to move the firewood and get to that window. That window has to be closed before we get 30-degree temperatures, because I will be moving some tender plants, I think, depending on, no, I will. I'll move my amaryllises. All of those will go in the greenhouse. All of my cannas that are out here on the porch will go in the greenhouse. Elephant ears will go in the greenhouse. All those tender things. I've got some things out here that I am trying to propagate. So those will go into the greenhouse. And I'll need to close that window. So that is something that I need to work on before the weekend gets here. So there's lots of stuff to do. So as I sit here and survey what needs to be done, I just need to get up and do it, because it's not going to get done if I don't start moving. So let's start moving. So first, let's take out some banana pups, get them in some pots, and get them in the greenhouse. And then we go and tackle the watermelon. I also need to tackle the orchard area. I'm going to be, like I said, shifting some pots of some tender things around, grouping them together, um, and then covering those up with greenhouse plastic and a frost blanket and greenhouse plastic. I'm going to move those back behind the shed and move like the apple trees and stuff over here towards the patio, because they need the cold hours. And not going to worry about those, but everything else is going to go back behind the shed so I can group it and cover it. So I got to get started. So let's do it. I know I said I was going to work on the bananas first. As I was sitting in my favorite spot, I noticed that my privacy screen right here has begun to come down. So I'm going to fix this first, and then I'm going to get to the bananas, because I need this up here correctly. And I am going to take down a few things first. I may not be able to keep these up here. I think these are probably too heavy. I think that's the problem. They've been up here for quite some time, and I hope you all can see. These are some wood frames that one of my coworkers found in his neighborhood, and he's like, "I think you would like these." And I thought to myself, "Yeah, I do like those. Bring them to me." So he brought them to me, and I put them up here. But they have, well, it may not even be these, but it could be. But they might need to have another home. I have another one all the way down there. Don't know if you all can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Let's just move you for a quick second. There's one right there. I need to take that one down as well. So let's do that. Let's get this down. And then we are going to figure out whether or not they stay up here. I wanted them up here just as decoration, but if they're going to keep taking this down, then it's not going to work for me, because I don't want to have to keep replacing the staples. And there's a lot of staples I'm going to have to replace all along here, all along here. I'll take this out as well. This is just a hanging pot that a old coworker gave me. So we're going to take that down. I have another one up here. It's not affecting anything, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I have my stapler, heavy duty stapler, and some staples, heavy duty staples. And all I'm doing is just going to staple it back up here. I'm not even going to bother to take these original ones out, because I'm just not going to bother with it. And I just hold it up to where I want it and staple it. Hopefully I can get it in here correctly. Actually, let me take this down just for a quick second. And that's just a planter. I'm going to pop it up here like this. There you go. And you just shoot it. I think I got it the wrong way. Yeah. See if I can do it this way better. We'll see. No. No, it's not doing that. Okay, let's do it this way. Sometimes it's hard for me to hold it properly, but this is working out great. And then all I'm going to do is just tack it up here. I'm actually going to tack it up here with initially one staple, and then I'll go back and put a second, because that's what I did the first time. I put one staple, and as you saw, one staple was not enough, and so you just tack it up. I have a second privacy screen. Haven't put it up yet. I met up with another content creator who was cleaning out her garden because she is going to be moving, and she was gracious enough to share some things with me. And so I do have a second one, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put it up on the opposite side of the yard. And the reason why I am hesitant is because that's the side where I always get those 6-foot tall weeds coming through, and this will not prevent weeds. Grass will grow through it, and so I don't want to have to contend with having to try and get weeds out of it. But as you see, I am just stapling it back up here, and I'm not going to take you guys along with me the whole way. Actually, I am. I'm going to speed it up, and then we'll finish this up. I may have one spot down there as well that I will tack back up. But yeah, let's get this finished off, and then let's move on to another project. Okay, I have put the privacy screen back up, and let's see, what do I want to do here? Trying to decide what I'd like to do here, because the S hooks, I don't know if y'all can see, the S hooks fell off of the top of the fence and down in between. And so I think that's going to be the problem that I have, is that the S hooks are going to move back down in between and not rest here on top of the fence post. Because once it starts getting windy, I think it might move. I don't know. I'm gonna try it anyway right now and see if I can get it to stay. It's just decoration. It doesn't have to sit here. I just thought it would be nice to look at, but it isn't something that I'm married to per se. It wasn't up here before, and it doesn't have to stay up here. I can just figure out something else and get rid of it. I just thought I would have some wall art, you know, just to have something pretty to look at. So let's take a look at it. Let's go over here. Excuse my very faded umbrella. I need to replace that. It actually fell down. I had to pick it up, but that's what it looks like. Let's go back this way. Walking towards a circular garden. You always want to put up stuff and then take a look and see what it looks like. Oh, sorry, y'all. So that's what it looks like. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. We'll see. Okay, I hung up the hanging planters, and I did go back and do multiple staples along the areas where I've got the hanging planters and the just the wall art. I have the S hook sitting on the center of the flat part of the top of the fence post or fence picket. So I don't know whether or not the wind is going to be able to shift that or not. But for right now, that's where it is. The S hook is sitting on top, and I did try to reinforce with several staples, but we'll see how that goes. If that doesn't work, then what I'll do is I'll just take this down. This again, I'm not married to it being here. I just wanted to have some nice wall art so that when I'm sitting over here in the fire pit area, um, I got a pretty backdrop. Um, okay, let's get to the rest of the cleanup because it's not going to clean itself up, and I'm procrastinating. So yeah, let's do that. I don't know if you can see the baby bananas in there, but there are baby bananas in there. So I'm going to try to attack it from the outside of the cattle panel. I'm going to lift the shade cloth and see if I can get to the bananas from that side versus going inside of the cattle panel. So let's go on the outside. I have been running around doing this, that, and the other thing, and I hope you all can see me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get into here in this angle, but I am going to try. I'm just going to move this mulch out of the way, and it looks like maybe I only have one baby banana. I thought I had two, but it looks like I only have one. Maybe one of them died. I don't know, but I definitely don't see it. So, either way, I am going to attempt if I can get this shade cloth out of my way. I'm going to attempt to squeeze under here and free this baby from its mama. And so what I need to do is move all this beautiful, rich, dark mulch. And I don't want to disrupt the mama's roots as I did a little move of the soil with my hands. I have moved soil away from roots. And so let's see. I don't want to do too much with my hands. I mean with my shovel. But I need to see where it is attached to mom. And I don't know if you can see, but back here is mom. And she is pretty thick. She's got a really thick trunk. And I'm just trying to, like I said, free the soil, and I'm combing it back. Haven't hurt any roots, but I'm combing the soil back. And I can tell by how the soil feels. It has a lot of worm castings in it. I'm just trying to move the mulch back. Oh, I forgot. I buried some food scraps in here. So actually let me put the food scraps on this side. And let's get that out of the way. I don't want to hit that with my hand. It's pretty gross. Yeah. Pretty nasty. Okay. So let's just do that. Hopefully my hands are not going to stink like that smelly old food scrap. But I'm just trying to, oh, now I can smell it. Oh, it's pretty foul. I put some food scraps in here, and so it's pretty smelly. So I'm trying to move this. Oh, that's a grub. Let's get him out of there. Yuck. Okay, we tossed him away. I'm just trying to move this soil out of the way so that I can see the roots, because you want to get the roots. You want to make sure that you have the corum, and that's a piece of a root. Looks like it's mama's root that I am freeing. And this soil is very moist, so I don't need to water it. Let's see. Just trying to loosen up around the baby without harming it. And I cannot see behind it, and I don't want to disturb mom too much. I don't want to release. Oh, that's a nice stone. Let's get that out of there. That little rock in there, y'all. I am so distracted. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Nice little stone. We're going to put that over there. Okay, let's see. I can't see anything. This soil is beautiful. Oh, another grub. Let's get that out of there. All right. Lots of grubs, which is not a good thing. June bugs. Let's see, what's that? I'm just continuing to move the soil, move the soil. I know this is probably boring, but you got to move that soil. You got to see where this baby is attached before you start ripping and moving, because you want to get as much of that root, as much of a corum as possible. You don't want to go ripping anything and you can't get what it needs to survive. And I cannot see anything. This soil is so rich and beautiful, so black and lovely. Lots of worms in here. And I just don't see. I'm still going down and I have not yet reached. I'm trying to get up under it. There we go. Okay, I got up under it and I pulled it out. All right, let's take it over here. I hope you all saw what happened. I just dug deep down and I went up under it and just pulled it out and sat it. It's got roots. I sat it in this pot. I'm just going to take this soil, I thought I had two, and I'm going to plop it in there like that, cover it up, and put this baby in the greenhouse. Now, this soil does have fertilizer in it, and so I'm just going to plop it down like that. I might put some more soil, but maybe not. I just want to make sure that it has the best possible start as possible. So let's go and fill Mama back in and leave it alone. All right, I am in the greenhouse. It is messy. The floor is messy. The tables are what the tables are. I brought the banana inside. I've watered it, so it's dripping. But the baby banana is seeded into the pot, and oh, it's got roly-polies in there. Hang on a minute, y'all. We can't have that. Gotta kill those because we don't want that killing the baby banana. Okay, so we've got a baby banana. This is a Cavendish, and it is inside. It looks a little rough, but it's alive. And I'm going to put it in the greenhouse, and it's going to overwinter in here. And I already have things in here that live in here all year round. My herbs are still not 100% germination. The catnip, the chamomile, lemon balm, peppermint, um, the broadleaf sage, the holy basil. And again, I know a lot of these things. Oh, I've got this stuck to my foot, y'all. Oh, I've got the bubble wrap stuck to my foot because I got to put the bubble wrap on the ceiling. But I know a lot of these herbs are Mediterranean. They are summertime, white sage, horehound. But I was trying to get them to grow and live in the greenhouse over winter, thinking that'll, none of those have germinated. I do have the anise hyssop. I have the oregano, some of the Greek oregano, not all of the Greek oregano, and I have marshmallow. My celery has begun to germinate, which is a good thing. I need to water in here today. I haven't been watering as frequently as I normally do in the summertime, so I will need to water in here. But yeah, things are looking, some things look good, some things look a little worse for the wear. But I am not concerning myself. It's the end of the season, and I'm just trying to keep it alive. Hopefully, these avocado will lose their ugly leaves and they will pop back with beautiful leaves. But we're just going to leave the greenhouse as it is for now, and I'll be moving some more tender stuff in here. I'll be getting that bubble wrap off the ground and putting the bubble wrap on the ceiling. But I need to get this window right here. I need to get this window worked on, and I have got to find this top bar that goes here. It's probably up in the ceiling, so I've got to double check it. So I've got to get this worked on. So I'm just going to leave this right here for right now. But yeah, the window fell in, y'all. The window fell in. The top piece, yeah, the top bar is up there. I can see it. So I just have to take the shade cloth off and get some more screws, two more screws because they came loose. And that does happen, when you have the wind blowing all crazy like we have here, things will come loose and things will happen. So I need to fix that. So let me finish off all of my chores by getting to that watermelon. I know y'all can't see me. I need to get to that watermelon and then I'll come in here and water in here. Y'all don't need to see that. So let me go to the watermelon because I am truly procrastinating today. I don't know why, but I am. But the sooner I get that done, the sooner I can get in here and get this window fixed and get everything tender moved in here so that they don't suffer for those 2 days out there in the cold. So let's go over here to the watermelon patch. I wish one of y'all would do it, but I know y'all won't. Exhaustion. That's what it is. Because gardening is an everyday, constant activity. There's always something to do. It's never ending. Oh, and I've got okra. Good heavens. See what I mean? I look over there and there's okra. Let me get to work. In so many ways, I hate to come in here and clean this up because I still have watermelon that are trying to grow and mature, but it's going to be getting cold. We have low temperatures coming next Monday and Tuesday, the lowest we've had thus far. And I really need to get my greenhouse closed up. And so I can't continue to allow this to keep growing. So I'm over here. I'm going to try to span you guys over to where I am. I'm trying to keep my phone out of the sun because it will overheat. But I'm over here. I'm starting in this corner, like I said, trying to keep you guys out of the sun. But I have a bucket. I've got a bucket and my plastic tote. I've got my shears. I have some baby watermelon over here and on the chair. So I'm just going to take them off of the chair and put them in the bucket. And I will take them inside, get them cleaned up, and see if they're any good. And while I do that, I'm going to go through and clear up what I just cut. I also have some babies down here on the ground. So far, I've just taken 4 watermelon. And as I mentioned, this was a good grower for me this year. It was a seed that dropped from the year before. I didn't plant this. It just took off, and I'm excited about it. I am going to grow this again next year because it's going to come back because it has broken open down here, a couple of them. I'm only going to keep 2 plants. The rest are going to either go away to somebody else or be composted if they don't want them. Because, people have good intentions. They tell you they want stuff and they don't come and pick it up, or you don't have time to drop it off, and it will ultimately succumb if you're not monitoring it and keeping it well, if you've dug it up and got it ready to give to somebody else. So I try not to grow too much excess, but I am going to try to grow some excess this coming year, not only for myself, but for my sister and a couple of friends are trying to get into growing, so it's possible that we might share as well. Here's another baby. It doesn't look great. It looks pretty horrible, in all honesty. Doesn't feel soft, but it looks terrible. So there's that. Excuse me if I'm sniffling. It's just that time of the year for me. And I can see there's one that busts open right here that I didn't even see. So there's probably seeds on the ground. As I mentioned, this will come back. I'm looking forward to it coming back. It's not the best tasting watermelon. It is a Japanese watermelon. I think what happened is I bought the seeds online, and I believe they gave me a cross of two watermelons because this was supposed to have pink flesh. And oftentimes you don't know what it looks like until you grow it out, you know? And when you grow it out and you're like, oh, wait a minute, you harvest it and it ends up not being what you thought it was supposed to be. And that's what happened here. But I kept it in the garden. But again, it is not the most flavorful watermelon. It's a Japanese watermelon, as I mentioned. Very light, very light in flavor. And so um, lots and lots of seeds, lots and lots of seeds. I have come to decide that because there's so many seeds in this, it's best to eat the seeds. And so I've been eating it with the seeds, just eating the seeds. All right, y'all, I am not going to bore you all with cutting this all the way back because there's a lot of it. And this one, the tendril, not brown, no spot on it. So these little ones, I don't think they're going to be tasty at all. But y'all, I might eat them anyway. Food is food nowadays, right? You gotta eat what you can. And this one is no good. So this one is going to go in the trash. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put what's in this bucket in the green compost bin because that has some open watermelon in it. And I don't want those that may have seeds to get into my compost bin. But I already know that there will be seeds here. And I don't want any seeds going in the compost over in the back of the garden. So I will get my broom and sweep all this up. But I'm going to speed this up. And y'all, I have two huge ant mounds that have come up on my patio or in between my patio. I'll show you guys when I get over there. But over here, two ant mounds, you all can't see it. So let me speed this up and get this cleaned up. And just like TV movie magic, it'll be done sooner rather than later. So I have finished cleaning up the watermelon patch. Excuse my shadow, everybody. The sun is behind me. I guess I could move over here, but you all can't see. There we go. That is the watermelon patch area. That is the fire pit area. Finally, I had to put down some diatomaceous earth because there was a huge ant mound, two of them. Let me shimmy between this chair and this umbrella. Again, excuse my shadow. There was a huge ant mound right here, and there was a huge ant mound right there. I unfortunately had to displace the orb weaver spider. Don't know where it went. I just pulled from the area where I'm standing now, and it went wherever it went. Hopefully, it found another hidey hole, and it will stay in the garden because it does serve a purpose here. It don't mess with me. I don't mess with it, but I need to clear this area up because I'll be covering the circular garden for the winter and making sure that it doesn't die. And so I need to clear it up to make sure that I can access it to cover it up. And I need to move the firewood, but oh yeah, I'm not gonna do it today. This will be a project for tomorrow. I'm a little leery of firewood areas because you never know what's living in there. And so I'll get some mothballs from the garage and put some mothballs up under there and move the firewood out of the way to expose the window right there and get that window fixed before the weekend. I'll probably do that maybe tomorrow. I still have a couple more days. So it'll get done. But in this tote right here, those are just bits and bobs and pieces to go into the fire pit so that I can start it. Just kindling. As you all know, I collect wood. I cut trees down. I'm gifted uh, pieces of wood from other people's yards. And so that's where the collection lives. And I burn it in the fire pit because I do love to have a nice fire when it's nice and cool outside. So, one last task I need to do for today before I call it a day is I need to move some things around in the orchard area. So, let's do that, and that's it for me. As you can see, there's so much I need to do in the orchard area. The castor bean plant has fallen down yet again, so it is blocking my walkway. I don't like anything to block my walkway, so this is always troublesome for me. So I need to prop it up so that I can start shifting some things around because I need to move the tender stuff over there so it can be grouped together and it can be covered all at once, and all the hardier stuff needs to move this way. So let's see what I can do. As I feared, the phone got hot. So I went ahead and just did the work. I didn't move my peach tree. My peach tree likes it here. It looks pretty sad right now, but it's going to go to sleep, and then I will deal with making sure that I fertilize it more. This was an empty pot right here. I just shoved a stick in it to see if I could grow this stick from. It's a white willow. No, it's a white. Oof, I can't think of the name of the tree right now. It completely escapes me. It grows along our main entryway. It has white bark. I can't think of it. It's not willow, but it'll come to me, and I'll put it in the description box below. Apple tree in that pot. This pot is empty right now. It has lady cream peas in it that just reseeded themselves. That pot there is the methylated plum. The pot next to it is covered with lady cream peas, but it has a Barbados cherry in it, so I shifted that down further because that will need to be covered. As you all can see, I have lifted up the castor bean plant, but it has decided it doesn't want to be lifted, so it's fallen down twice now. So I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to break it. It has a lot of seed pods on it, and I want them to go ahead and mature. I can see a cluster up there. Up there, I need to harvest those. I'll come back out and get all the ones that are ready to pick off. I did have some to fall to the ground, so I will have some that will reseed. That's fine. Um, Next to that is the pomegranate that I grew from seed to include the pigeon pea. And something got into the pigeon pea's bark, and I've got half of it that's dying off. I'll have to go around. Let's see. I don't want to keep picking up this castor bean, so let me go around and come at you from the other side. Before I do that, I've got ants in this pot and ants in that pot that I've got to deal with. I did put some, as you can see, some diatomaceous earth, but I'm going to have to do some more of it. Oh, ants.
As you clearly heard, I was coming unglued. I lost all of the footage on this end of the orchard area, but as I mentioned, all of my tender trees that need to be covered are on this end. So I do apologize for losing that footage, but I was sneezing. My nose began to run like it was in a marathon, and I was a complete mess. Sorry.
Here is the bucket of watermelon that I harvested. I'll get those cleaned up and I'll bring them in the house and put them in the refrigerator and see if they're any good to eat. Ooh, I still have my morning walking clothes on, and it is 2:13. I've been outside since 9 something this morning, and I've got to go get cleaned up. I haven't eaten anything today. I just been working out in the garden, and I feel pretty accomplished. I got a chance to water the front garden. I didn't take you all along with me. I sowed a bunch of seeds up there earlier in the week, or it might have been last week. And I sowed seeds weeks ago, and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. I see baby seedlings popping up. So I am, oh, hope that's not an ant. I am getting baby seedlings popping up. getting baby seedlings popping up in pots back here and pots in the cut flower garden. And so I've cleaned up the watermelon patch. I will need to tackle the greenhouse window tomorrow. Moved the trees in the orchard area. And so now I have all the trees that I need to cover up and protect down by the shed. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just a mess. Uh, I'll cover those up down by the shed. Definitely the Barbados cherry and the pomegranates. The Chicago Hardy should do fine, but I will do my best to cover that as well. Um, the olive is really tall, but I will do my best to cover that as well. Lots to cover, you all. Lots to cover. I still need to harvest more pigeon pea flowers as well as the seeds. I have been harvesting the seeds. I have been harvesting the flowers. I have so many bumblebees in my garden that loves the pigeon peas. I'm sorry, the butterfly peas. They love the loofah. The loofah is ridiculous. There's bumblebees on the loofah right now. You all, I did something I've never done before in life. I was over there by the butterfly pea and the loofah and bumblebees everywhere. And so a bumblebee had landed in the flower, and something just compelled me to touch it. And I gently stroked its little wings, and it didn't like it. It didn't try to harm me, but it it left the flower and went to another one. It didn't try to fly away like it was being attacked. But y'all, I touched a bumblebee for the first time in life. The ants, I think, did get me as I was moving things around. I was feeling some bites on my wrists, so I'm gonna have to get cleaned up. But yeah, I took out the baby banana, put it in the greenhouse. So I am taking care of things. I will need to go, like I said, harvest the butterfly pea. I will need to harvest more of the lemongrass and the lemongrass pot that's on the porch was left out last year, you all. I did not cover that at all, and it survived. It survived. So I'm not going to take the chance with the two 15-gallon pots. I am going to put them inside the cattle panel and let them live in there through the winter because I want all the lemongrass I can possibly get. And I do still have two lemongrass pots in the cut flower garden. I'm going to see if I have enough to cover those as well because I will be covering the citrus. I've already set up everything to get everything um, covered over there. I took some PVC piping and draped it like I did around the pots around the cattle panel so I can drape covering over it and the covering is not sitting on top of the plants. It's kind of being lifted up by the PVC a little bit. So I've been really busy. I didn't show you all that. So I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go get cleaned up and get some water. I have not had enough water today. If you guys are working in your garden, no matter what the season is, keep hydrated. I know I'm guilty of that. I have not had enough water today, and I know I haven't. So I haven't even had coffee today. I was supposed to have coffee this morning with my neighbor once we finished walking, but I said let me get my gardening chores done, and y'all, it never did happen. So let me finish off. And I want to say thank you all for joining me in the garden. I hope you enjoyed my gardening chores. This is what I'm doing right now in the garden because it is fall and the weather is quickly turning to a nice, cool, beautiful feeling. Before you know it, it'll be winter and everything will be covered up to the best of my ability. And I won't be able to sit out here and talk to you all. My videos will probably be very far and few in between in the garden during the winter time. I will be showing you all probably growing some stuff in the garage greenhouse because I do want to grow peppers and some other things. So that will happen, but I don't know what the videos will look like during the winter because I think we might have a pretty tough winter. So, again, thank you for joining me on my gardening chores today. I hope that you're in your garden working on your gardening chores. I hope you're harvesting. I hope you are reaping the benefits of everything you've sown and you are sowing for a fall winter garden. I can tell you all, I will need to give you guys an update on the seeds that I've sown. I'm not 100% happy with that, but it's going to be a full moon tonight, and I might take a chance and come back out in a couple hours and sow some more seeds and see if maybe I might get something. I don't know. I think I'm not. I think my time is past for me to be sowing seeds outdoors for it to germinate and grow because it's going to get cold. And I'm talking about brassicas. Um, they may end up just sitting in the soil until spring. I don't know. But I want to have my containers as full as possible. You all can see that I do have a pretty full garden. It is pretty lush. It really is. And I am getting food. I'm not getting enough, but I am getting food. So until next time, if you have not hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're doing in your gardens this fall right now, or if you have any inclination to start yourself a winter garden. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I think that's about it, y'all. I think that's about it. So I really got to go inside. I do need to water. I might have to do that now because I really need to water a few things. Our chores are never done. So again, thank you. Until next time, bye for now.